when you were a boy, do you ever remember seeing those little cotton nets that they used to use?
I sure do. My grandmother, she used to tie those.
Oh, really?
My great-grandmother, not my grandmother, yeah.
Your great-grandmother.
My great-grandmother.
When you say tie it, would she tie it to corks, or would she like actually knit the whole entire webbing of the net? Or?
She would have a skein, a twine, and it would be a skein kind of around like this here, and it was like a type of a holder that my great-grandfather made up.
Right.
Where the twine would set onto it and would have little pins setting up, if you're getting what I'm talking like.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it would go around it, and it would come on those pins, and she'd have to sit there, and she'd fill her needle.
Oh, and the twine would be like woven around?
I
see a picture of that.
No, it wouldn't be woven back and forth across it like this here. The one that her twine coming just in a round, big old round circle like this here.
As if there were two hands holding it.
Right, and it would be like she had like about 4 or 5 pins that would hold it. And when she would pull it, she had to turn around and pull it off like that.
Really?
And then she had these needles that she would fill up, and they were kind of made out of little bamboo.
Oh.
And then she would have what we would call the gauge, and my grandfather would make the gauges for her, and that would determine the size of the mash that the net would be.
Right.
And then she would sit there and tie the net, what we would call tie. And she would say that, well, I'm going to tie 10 yards before I go to bed at night, or 5 yards, or something like that. And then it would be another thing, well, before dinner today, I'll tie 5 more yards and stuff like that.
And so she actually would go like a whole row, then another row, then another row, all the way down until she was like basically weaving the net?
But the whole net, she was making the whole net.
She wasn't tying together already done.
She wasn't tying together already done.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
In fact, I have some of the net needles, and I don't have any of the gauges, but I do have some of the net needles that my grandfather made.
And where would he get bamboo? You said it was some kind of bamboo material?
I don't know where he would. I don't know where he would get that little bamboo at, but he would get that little bamboo.
Yeah.
And
that's something. And would she do that in the house?
Yeah, she would do it in the house. Yeah.
How'd she fit it?
She would take and she would have a piece of twine going over to one of the old timey doorknobs.
Right.
And she would have a basket set there, and she would tie out so far, say maybe tie 5 or 6 yards out, and then she would take it up, tie it back on, move it up closer to the doorknob, and tie out again.
Oh, wow.
And she would keep up with how many yards each time she would pull it back, how many yards she tied. And then when she would get through tying that net, then my great-grandfather, he would hang the net, and that net was made out of cotton is what it was made out of.
Okay, so hanging the net, is that when you put the corks on it?
That's when you put the corks on it, and when you put the leads on it, it's called what we call hanging the net.
The leads on the bottom and the corks on the top?
Right.
And why would your grandmother knit the net inside the house instead of outside?
Well, she had her chores to do like in the daytime. And this is that nighttime activity. Not much going on.
Worked so hard back then.
Yeah, that's true. Not much going on, and like I say, no television to watch, and not much activity going on. So, but she could really tie a net. My grandmother, that's what we call tying. She was really fast at tying a net.
Did any of the men tie nets too?
Oh yeah, there was some men tying nets around here. My dad, he also tied nets, but he could never tie as fast as my grandmother. It seemed like my grandmother, my grandmother, she could get her hand going so fast tying that net, you could hardly see her hand. It was moving, or hardly see the needle. It was moving so fast.
And so then you then have this beautiful white cotton net.
Yep, be pretty and white. And then also she made linen nets that was made out of linen twine too.
Really? And why would she choose that? What was the difference?
The linen seemed like it wouldn't hold up as well as a cotton, according to my great grandfather, but it would seem like it would catch a little bit better than the cotton.